Once your name is on your sewing bag, you need to thread up your sewing machine. You will need thread for the top and thread for the bottom on a bobbin. I usually would use the same matching thread for top and bottom. Today I'm going to use a different colour just so that you can actually see my stitching. So I'm using a dark grey on top and I'm using a yellow on the bottom. Now that's just so that you can see my stitching once I've finished the bag, okay? Now the other thing you need to know is the number of your machine. So this is machine number 9 and I have used bobbin case number 9, so that's why that's missing. You need to set your sewing machine up for zigzag stitch, so you just turn this top dial here to number 4 and turn this dial here to number 2, and then set your sewing machine up so that the edge of the bag, you can see just the edge here, is just on the edge there where the foot is, and then the needle will be going on and off the edge of the fabric. Okay, so I'll just start that, basically just like that, continuing all the way down until I reach the end, and then I'm just basically going to lift up the foot, pull it away, and I can cut those on the cutter at the side there. Those cut threads are actually too short, so I'll just make sure that they're a little bit longer before I set up for my next side. I'm going to do the other long side. Here you can see I've actually zigzagged all the way down the long side of the bag on this edge and also on this edge along here. I have not done the ends, so don't need to do these ends at this point. Now I'm going to fold the bag in half. So this is the bag in its long state, and I'm going to fold up this half so that the name is actually on the inside, and if I flipped it over you could actually see that this is on this side here, and I have to straighten up these edges, and then once I straighten those up I'll pin them together. So I've pinned along the first edge here. You can see that I've actually matched up the top edges. They're the raw edges, they've not been finished, and I've brought these edges together so the front and back are right next to each other, and I've pinned in sideways, and I've done that close to the bottom here, and I still have to do this side here. So when I'm actually pinning, I'll make sure that I pull these edges as close together as I can and that these top edges match. So where it's not matching there, I will basically pull that down and match that first so that it actually does match, and then I'll straighten it up down the bottom. Now I'm going to reset the sewing machine onto straight stitch, so 0 there and then 2.5 down here, and I'm going to start sewing my first seam down the side. When I sew my first seam, I'm going to line up the edge of the fabric with this second line on the sewing machine, and that means then that the stitching will be in line with this line here, and it will be 1.5 centimeters between the edge and the stitching line. I have it lined up, so basically this is lined up with the second line on the sewing machine here, and I'm actually about 1 centimeter in from the end of the thing, and I've got to go backwards and then I've got to go forwards. So to go backwards, I hold up this here and then I keep it held up, and then I put my foot on the pedal and I go backwards. So it's close to the edge but it's not off the edge, and I just have to let go of this now, so then it's going forwards again, and I basically can continue sewing forwards. Okay, as I get to pins I'm going to take them out so that I don't break the needle on a pin. And I'm going to just continue sewing all the way down to the bottom. So I've arrived at the bottom and I've just done a couple of back stitches, and then basically I can wind the needle out and I can then pull that away, lift up, pull away, cut those threads again on the side. Remember to lengthen them so that they don't come unthreaded for the next time I sew. And now I'm going to do the other one exactly the same, so I'm going to go backwards, forwards all the way down to the bottom and then backwards for a few stitches, just a few stitches, maybe 4 or 5. When you finish your sewing each time, you'll have threads hanging off, and you can see these threads here. I've cut all of those off, so I've cut them off this end and I cut them off this end as well. So do that each time you sew, make it a lot tidier.